Back with Bobby and JJ Radio. Today we're speaking with, and we have here in the studio, Miss Stephanie Wiese, the Vice President of Habitat for Humanity here in San Antonio. We were talking about all the different things that you're doing with families and how it's kind of a hand up, not a handout. And let's continue with that conversation a little bit. So these families still pay for their homes so you guys finance it and they still pay for their homes once the homes are complete.
Absolutely. That's what makes Habitat unique. We're not a typical charity. We don't just give a family a home and expect that they're going to run off and their life is going to improve, tremendously. We work with them, they do the sweat equity, and then at the end we sell them the home 0% interest. So what makes it truly affordable is we're not profiting from the deal, right, and then they're not paying interest.
So the terms of the note are actually 0%.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
yes.
I want one of those loans.
Yeah, me too. And what is the term as far as length?
We do 20 to 25 years, so the majority are 20
Just to make
years.
sure that, is that more to make sure that it's an affordable payment?
Yes.
Overall?
So since you guys are financing the home, is there any of the same, I guess, stipulations when getting a loan as a regular loan? Do you still look at credit? Do you look at income? What do you guys look at?
We're very much like a traditional bank in the sense that if you came in and qualified, we look at your credit to debt ratio. We make sure that you have a stable employment history, that you have a history of making payments timely. We make sure you're a permanent resident. So we look at all of that. What we don't look at so much is the credit score. People have bad credit scores if they've never had credit before. If someone is in their 50s and they've never had a credit card and they've always paid off all their stuff, then they would be a good candidate for us.
That's good news for JJ because he's got terrible credit.
Yeah, it's bad. It's real bad.
So yeah, that's what makes us a little bit different. But we pretty much follow what a traditional bank would look at.
And so are you looking like like most mortgage banks, they look at like debt to income ratios and make sure that it's, affordable for the family, or is there some kind of underwriting in that sense?
We have an underwriter, so absolutely we do look at their income to debt ratio and make sure that it's all very healthy and that they'll be able to benefit from the home and not have to spend all of their money on their home.
Right.
So we make sure that that's a good ratio for them.
Sure.
So we talked about the classes that they have to take. Can you talk a little bit more about those? What do they have to do?
Sure. So each family takes between 15 and 22 hours of homeownership education training. So they learn. We have a 3-hour class that's in our warehouse. We have a kind of a mock-up home. The families go and they do the 3-hour class and they learn how to replace a cartridge in their sink, or how to put batteries in their smoke detector, how to...
Bob, you need this.
I'm going to take this class.
It's a fun class. And we teach them how to, basically how to take care of a home. They're learning how to build a home, but all the things that we all need to do, how to unclog a drain in a shower.
If they have classes to clean a home, I think JJ should take that one.
I can probably teach it. Actually,
They're on their own for the cleaning, but
the cleaning. I gotcha.
But financial stability classes, sure. We kind of go through all of that.
Tell us some more of the benefits you feel of the home ownership that comes along with this organization and the experience in actually getting a home for these families.
I think for our families, having met several of them throughout the years, is really that pride,
sure.
That ability to be empowered, to be independent, to know that this is something that you're working for and you're getting. That you're doing this for your family, for your kids.
Right.
Someone's not just giving you something and someone else is improving you.
Sure.
It gives families that ability to improve themselves and really help their families going forward.
And let's talk some of the numbers about it. So how many houses have been built by Habitat?
We have built now 922 houses in San Antonio.
Are you going to make a big deal about the 1,000th house?
We sure are.
Okay, cool. I want to be there.
Next year, you are absolutely invited. Next year is our 40th anniversary, and next year will be our 1,000th house. So pretty excited about that.
So after so many houses, what is the foreclosure rate?
Less than 1.5%.
Wow. That is incredible right there. Those are some numbers that I don't think any other statistics could touch.
No one else can touch those numbers. Yeah, our families build their home, buy their home, they live in them. And if it's a case of foreclosure, it's a case where they're not partnering with us.
And that 0% interest doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
No.
Helps out a lot. What about how do you feel it is with the kids, that the kids' ownership of the home? How do you think that's affecting the children of these families?
I think that is the primary benefit of home ownership. We see children do better in school.
Right.
We see children do better in math and reading, less behavioral problems. There's statistics that show there's less teenage pregnancy. One stat that's absolutely amazing to me is that if a child grows up in a house that their parent owns versus an apartment, that child is 59% more likely to own a home within 10 years after moving out of their parents' house.
That's good. So
there are future homeowners.
Right.
The road out of poverty can take generations, and if we can affect the children in the home, that makes the world a difference.
So this is affecting, our next generation, San Antonio, for the next 20 years.
Absolutely.
Or even
beyond.
Yeah, beyond that. Yeah, I've seen the stats for kids and how I think the stability of just being in a place for a very long period of time creates a consistency that they need, for schooling, for education, or higher education levels and stuff like that. So it's very incredible what you guys are doing out there. It's really great.
Well, thank you.
Do you have any stories that you can share with us? Maybe one family that stands out to you that you can share with us?
Sure. Well, what I was going to first say is it's amazing. I know one of our families that moved into their home recently said before that, their kids are grown now, but they moved 18 times when their children were in school. And they said literally their kids never, they'd go to school and then they'd move in the summer and they'd find a better apartment that was cheaper and more affordable or in a safer area. And they'd just keep moving. Their kids basically never knew the same kids in school.
Right. You can't ever create anything, any kind of stability or anything like that.
Right. So we do have amazing families, and we have one family that I know is so excited about her house. They just moved in, and her son is actually going to go into 9th grade. So he's going to actually be with his whole class, through graduation, and they're just so excited about that.
Yeah, that's really important, I feel. And real quick before we take a break, so after the families meet the qualification, what happens right after that?
So they meet the qualifications. They start doing their sweat equity. So it takes them about anywhere between 6 and 9 months, and they start building, and then at the end of that process, they buy their home.
So, and they kind of like pick the lot, and they kind of go through all the, they pick a lot of the interior and exterior stuff?
Yes, when they get to a certain amount of hours, then they get to pick their lot. They get to decide what kind of countertop, what kind of colors.
Size of the pool.
Of the pool. No pools.
No pool. No one needs a pool.
But a real basic house, and they get to pick the essentials.
Sure. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with Mrs. Wiese. Again, if you want some more information about Habitat for Humanity, you go to habitatsa.com, or you can call them at 210-223-5203. Again, that's 223-5203. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, or be a fan of the show at bobbyandjjradio.com.